Hello Flosstube, my name is Mariam, my pronouns are she, her. You may know me as Marroomycrafts on Instagram or Marroomy on Gumroad. This is my Flosstube number 5. We are talking about cross stitch and cross stitch alone, and to more than cross stitch itself. My focus will be on hauls. This was the first expo I actually made any purchase at because I'm relatively new to stitching. I started stitching at the end of 2020 and I was monogamous stitcher for the majority of 2021. I just started like adding to my pile of whips. Before that, I didn't see any reason why I should have a stash, because it would take time for me to finish one project, and by that time I finish one, I might have changed my mind, or my style have changed and might like something that I wouldn't have when I started that first project. So because of that, I didn't have a stash per se at that time. But when I started adding to my pile of whips and working on more than one project, I realized that, oh, there is such thing as a stash, and there is nothing wrong with actually adding the stuff and collecting those for when, you know, you're in the mood to stitch them, or it's a season, or, you know, for various reasons we have a stash. So you get me, yeah. So yes, so as Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio will say, these are not hauls. It's not haul, it's not acquisition, it's investment, because I'm investing in this hobby that I enjoy, and it's good for my mental health, so I'm investing in myself, right? Right. So we're going to talk about finishes. I have only one finish, no FFOs, and then quickly we go through the whips, and then we'll talk about the purchases. Okay, so let's start with finishes. So this month I only had one finish. I designed an exclusive pattern for like a charity event that me and Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery had started last month, and we collected money for flood relief for Pakistan. So I designed and then stitched this pattern that's called Baluchi moons. So Baluchistan is the area in Pakistan and Iran. So we do have Baluch people in Iran as well, and they have like a special kind of like this decorative like a stitching. I turned it into cross stitch. It's actually not cross stitch, it's its own way of a stitching. It has a lot of embedded mirrors and really bright primary colors, and usually these are used as panels to decorate clothing or scarves or bags, handbags, or even to make jewelry. They're used for that as well, and because the main fabric used as clothing in that area is really plain neutral colors, so the decoration comes from these panels that they stitch. So inspired by those patterns, I designed this, and because it has two moons, it's called Baluchi moons. This is sort of like a representation of Baluchistan in Pakistan and Iran, so it's like there are two. Actually, Baluchistan is in another country as well. There are Baluch people in Afghanistan as well. So it's like these you know, people have lived across those borders. They share culture, craft, clothing. So yeah, so that's inspired by that. I used 3 Sulky threads to stitch this. Let me show you. Let me actually tell you what those are. Have it written down. So these are Sulky 0175 and 1051 and 1332. So 3 different shades of green. And it's a stitch on a piece of Fortnite fabric, 20 count Ada in Terrific, which is this like mottled green yellow, really light fabric. Yeah. Okay, so that was the only finish I had. Okay, whoops. So majority of the month of September was focused on stitching for MIW2GS. It's a fundraiser that goes through months of September and October for murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. We are, I say we because they're like, it's not just me, so I'm just participating in it. So there are a lot of like Flosstubers, names that you may know: Michelle Garrett, Rachel Ray, Two Martini Stitches, Resist Stitch, Jessie from MislaidPages. Am I missing anyone? And so many others that are actually joined, like Nitya as well. So there are a lot of people who joined this effort to partake in like a stitching. So you basically make a commitment to how much, make a pledge on how much time or energy or project, depends on your availability, what you want to work on, and then based on those hours that you're pledging or project that you're pledging, you donate yourself and you encourage others to donate to your 99 pledges page. I will be, by the way, linking all of this below, so you can just check it out there. And it's for the whole like duration of September and October, and we collect all of that, and all of it will be donated directly. Nothing is like taken away as fees or anything. The whole thing will be donated. And I pledged 100 hours of stitching. Last year I was like, I pledged the whole thing to one project. So I actually worked on the New Normal by Long Dog sampler for the whole challenge. I made a good, like, it made me like work on it really hard, and I made really good progress, and I was able to actually finish that project because I was able to finish more than half of it during the challenge. So then I finished that at the beginning of this year. This year I pledged just 100 hours on any project that I was stitching on, but also at the beginning of September we started another hashtag, another style, all Bellas are beautiful style, which is stitching on Bella Filipinas. So any Bella Filipina that you have already started, so it can be a web if you want to, it can be new start. We encouraged everyone to, be more diverse in their choices of Bellas, because there are options there are more options in terms of skin tones, and you also can always convert skin tones if you like to. So the project, the Bella that I chose was Lakapati. So she is really beautiful. I actually will add the photo here. Yeah, as you see, she's really beautiful person of color. So yeah, let me show you my progress. So last time I have started it when I shared it with you, and I only had just a little bit of page 2. I finished page 1 and I had a little bit of page 2. I was able, in the past month, I was able to finish page 2, which includes actually her face. Let me show you. Look how beautiful she is. I'm so happy with how she turned out. I don't know if you can see, but I didn't bead. I don't like beading, so what I did was I replaced all the beading with petite treasure braid, and I stitched them basically. So you can see all the here should be a lot of beading, her necklace, earring, and this like rice stems and all of that. There's a lot of beads, and I replaced all of it with petite treasure braids of various of colors, also in the border. Yeah, I'm super happy with her. I will definitely get back to her at some point. This is the first time I'm actually stitching this like fancy ladies that I call. So I was really worried that I won't be able to achieve like a good look on her face because I'm not going to be able to do 1/1. It's like, I mean, it's 1/1, but it's 1/1 on Aida because this is 18 count Aida, like mystic fabric in Night Sky Jennifer, yeah, opal. So it's really opalescent and beautiful, but I was worried that I'm not going to be able to achieve a lot of like details on her face, but I like it. I think it looks okay. Yeah, so this is now set aside for now. I'll get back to it for sure, probably not this year. I wanted to share something else. So last time I shared that I'm worried that I'm gonna break the cardstock that I had my like floss on, which guess what I did. So I learned this trick from Trixie Tricycle. She used these like two of these like plastic hangers that you can find like by hundreds of them. I bought a pack of 500 I think for $12 or something like that, and you need two of them to make one of these floss drops. So you basically stick them together, and then you stick the you put it like a sticker on top of it, and you can just write on that. These are really light, small, like this is like really tiny, but it's like big enough to like hold a couple of skeins. So this is, for example, like this is 2 skeins of 310, and they're all like fit on it. And also I braided my flosses. By the way, I'm doing call for, so this is all the colors and the silk. Yep. Yes, for the other the full coverage that I had, I bought those like acrylic clear floss drops. They're really sturdy, but they're thick, so you know, when you have like a 40 of them, that's like you need 2 rings basically. You can't just fit them on 1 ring, or it looks really odd. This one is super thin, and you can reuse it. You don't need to throw it away afterward. It's plastic, I know, but you can reuse it and have it for a good while. So I'm planning on just having them like reuse them when I need to, and I still have like a whole bunch of them left because I said like I bought 500, and with 500 you can make 250 floss drops because you need 2 for each floss drop. So that was like plenty. All right, next whip. Let me show you the photo. It's Black Vintage Sampler, but by Owl Forest Embroidery. I'm hoping to finish this year. I'm close. This is where I am. This is like a 6-page pattern, and I'm on page 5. So I only have this section left, and these like pages are shorter than the other 4, so I technically have less than 2 pages left to finish. So this is part of my Whipco goal last month, and because I have like I finished one of my Whipco projects, now it's like I turned all of those goals to chipping away from this project. So I'm hoping that this will help me finish it. So this month, again, with the numbers that were called, I again have to work on this, but I don't think I will. We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna share my plans for this month, but who knows, I might feel burned out or tired or feel the desire to stitch on this, and if I do, I'll go back to it and stitch it. Next whip is my second Whipco goal for last month, and that one was, by the way, the black sampler from Alfor's Embroidery, was a stitch on 18 count mystery Ada. It's like a random Ada I bought from Amazon using 2 Sulky threads. So the black is the black Sulky, which is I think 1005, and the red is chestnut 1189, which is like my favorite red from Sulky. Now next one is Peppermint Purple Sal, which is, let me see which side is up, which is black work. So goal was to catch up. So I stitch, let me show you, I stitch from here down, across, and top. So I'm all caught up now. Right. This is Sulky Admiral Blue, Admiral Navy, and then this one is Primaries, and the fabric is 16 count Ada in light coffee. Next is start and sort of goals for this month all in one. So okay, so if there is any indication of like what's in it, this is the project bag. I'm holding the project in. It's the first one I made that looks like this, and I used one of my finishes. This was the first time I stitch on darker color and first time I stitched on 18 count Ada. So and it's from Night Spirit Studios, and it's called Ornate Pumpkin, if I'm not mistaken. It's charted completely differently. I chose to neon color to stitch it. It's super neon. I love it. This is one of my favorite finishes from last year. So yeah, so that's the bag. Inside it, so let's talk about plans so I can actually talk about this start. So my plan for the month of October is a sale that I started, Spooky Small Sal, and the goal is to stitch from magazine patterns, all those small spooky patterns that we get as freebies here and there, and a lot of us are collecting them without actually stitching them. We enjoy watching them and enjoy collecting them, but a lot of times there are other like more important projects that we work on. At least that's my case. And these are all set aside. I even like have like them marked. So this is from last year. I even have them like marked, like those like patterns that I actually like, but I actually didn't stitch any. So I decided that, well, it's time, right? It's a spooky season, so I'm gonna start and work on all small projects from Halloween cross stitch magazine, like from Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition last year, and I have this year as well. And I have like a couple of like fall edition that has few Halloween patterns, but I mainly will focus on the special collector's edition. This one is from 2021 and I have the 2022. And the first pattern I started with, let me see, I have to cover the actual pattern, is this one. Angry cat. It's cute, right? So I saw this last year and I was like, this is my cat. This is like exactly my cat. We gave him a bath the first time and he gave us like evil look, just like this one. But like, I mean, it was his fault. He was like filthy, and I don't remember what happened, but it was like we had to give him a bath. So we gave him a bath and this is the look we got. So I started that on, and by the way, I'm planning on using all those like little pieces of leftover fabrics, and I have like a bunch of leftover threads from kits that I stitched at the beginning of like my journey of stitching. They're not DMC, they're have like no names or numbers. You can guess what they are from the color, but there's no number. And also I bought a pack of mystery threads at the time, that like the neon that I stitch on, this is from that pack, and they're no name and they're mystery. I don't know what they are. So I decided to just use those and just not go by the called for anything like thread or fabric, nothing. So I just go from stash what I have in these like mystery or cutoffs, and I'll just use those. So that's the one. So this is like a leftover fabric that I had, 18 count. Picture this plus in jade. It's just barely enough, as you can see. It's not even in the hoop, but it's enough for this. So I'm stitching the body, and this is the needle model I'm using. It's from TopknotStitcher. Yeah, it's just the vibe, right? So yeah, I just started that like a couple nights ago, so that's my progress. So I'm hoping to at least like be able to finish, I don't know, 3 or 4 at least of these small patterns this month. So, which means like more finishes for next Flosstube, right? So yeah, I will be participating in tomorrow. I will be participating in Jessie's Zoom, hopefully, for MMIW G2S plus season of the smalls, and that's the event that they host, and they have been hosting, I think, at least for 2 years that I'm aware of. I don't know if they've been doing this longer than that, but at least for the past 2 years I know that it was going on, and it was dedicated to the like fundraiser as well. So you had to like either donate and then finish, make like a small project, finish a small project, start and finish a small project, and then you can sign up to be, you know, winning prizes and all of that. So I will leave the link to the page on their website that they have like all these, like the detail of what you need to do to partake in Season of the Smalls. And it runs through September, which was done, and October. So we have a month left of that event. So yeah, I will be participating in that Zoom, and then the rest of month I will be stitching on my projects, my small projects. If I feel like it, it depends on like how tired I get from stitching these smalls. I may get back to my vintage sampler from Outforce Embroidery and see if I can like stitch more on it, because it's part of the one of the whip go goals for this month for me. If not, I'm not gonna like push it. I'm not gonna force myself to do any of the whip go goals this month. We'll see what happens. I mean, there is still a couple months left in the year, so hopefully I can finish all the goals. We'll see. So now we get to the haul portion, or investment portion, as Denise would say, right? Okay, so I'm gonna do let's see, let's do Expo first, and then I have other things to show you as well. So first, I actually placed orders with 2 different shops. I don't have a local LNS. I do shop online. I have online shop, and I placed orders with Jessie from MislaidPages and also from Abby TopknotStitcher. I placed 4 orders with Jessie and 3 orders, I think, with Abby. Okay, so first let's go through Jessie's. All right. So I ordered the Gloriana silk. It's the name is Royal Plum Light. First I ordered 2 and I received the 2 and I was like, this is beautiful, but I need more of it. So I placed another order for the 3 more. So now I have 5. So now I can stitch a project with it. I'm going to show you what I'm planning to stitch. It's one of the other pieces that I bought. I'm not going to stitch the Star of Sumatra. That's the pattern that this was like released for. That's too big for me. I'm not gonna not committing to anything like that. I prefer to stitch on something smaller that is like more doable, and hopefully I can see the finish of within a year. That's the goal. So yeah, so beautiful, right? Okay, so that's the silk. They were all nicely packed in these. Sorry for the crinkle. And they sent this like extra, like free needle minder. I love this. So cute. And now the patterns. I bought 3 lacy squares. I'm probably gonna stitch them separately instead of like all in a row. This is by Works by ABC. Then I bought Mom's the Word. I love this. It's so cute and tiny. So this is by Pixel Pixie Stitches. From Blue Flower, I bought Season of the Heart Autumn. From Blue Flower, I bought Magpie and the Moon. From Ink Circle, I bought Victorian License. So this is the one that I'm gonna stitch with those Gloriana silk. Right? So this is charted for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. If you look closely, but instead I'm gonna just stitch the whole thing using that Gloriana silk. And I'm gonna just flash this really quickly because there is no like cover. This one has cover. So this was a freebie, and this is another freebie. Both from the Blue Flower. Okay, so that was from Jessie. From Abby, TopknotStitcher, I placed 3 orders. And I've received all the patterns, but I bought a piece of fabric as well, and that's the only thing that I don't have in my hand, and it's like hopefully coming sometime soon. I'm not in a rush though. It's not like I have lack of fabrics. I have more to share today. I know. I have a lot. I know. Don't judge me. Okay, let me share the patterns. So from October House, Fiber Arts, Strawberry Fair. This one is so cute. Just look at that. From Lindy Stitches, I saw this and I was like, this is me. Just look at this. It says, bear me with my needle and some linen in my hand. For me it will be Ada. For I would not be idle when I reach the promised land. So yep. Look at those kitties. And the crow. It's so cute. I'm gonna basically like change the hair, maybe a skin tone, just make it more like me. Yep. I got from Tiny Modernist Stitching Mends. It says Stitching Mends the Soul. And from Puntini, something that I think everyone in the community needs. Yes. It says, I will not buy craft supplies this month. And in parentheses says, and other lies I tell myself. Isn't that true? Yeah. From Tiny Modernist, the Stitch Witch. This is so cute. All those little things, little doodads. I love all of them. And for the sheer beauty of it, from Kathy Barrick, Winter White Moth. Look at that. I don't think I'm gonna stitch it on that fabric though. That kind of fabric. That's too neutral for me. So I don't know what color, but it will be a different color. Pink? I know it says winter, but pink maybe? Turquoise? Blue? Right? Yeah. So that was my Expo. All of my Expo purchases. Minus the missing fabric. So that was not all the purchases I made. I also made a purchase with Sulky. So I think at this point it's not a secret that I love stitching in Sulky. Because I love stitching on 18 count and 20 count. Ada, Sulky, one thread of it is perfect coverage. I don't need to worry about it. I know that the color range is not as extensive and inclusive, especially for a skin tone, as DMC is, for example. But if I'm not stitching a lot of like humanoid faces or things, I don't have any issue with like a stitching in Sulky. So Sulky had their, I think, one of the best sales. It's called Oopsie Sale. Yeah. So they had a lot of overstock items, and then items that were not fit to be sold like as regular price, because their spools were a little smaller, had a little less or a little more extra threads on them. So they packed those like in sets and sold them for a fraction of price. So I bought 3 packs plus 1 extra cone. So they had like they have these like big cones of threads that has, let me see how much thread you get. You get 2100 yards of thread in 1 cone. So I had the black one, so black cone of doom. So I decided to get my favorite red, which is 1189, the one that I use on the vintage sampler. So this is it. So these were 50% off because they were overstock. So fantastic deal. This is as is, even if you buy it full price, it's a good deal, because like all of it, like you get a whole lot of thread at once. So for buying threads that you're planning on stitching a lot with, this is the best way to go. So I have a black, now I have a red. And then I purchased like a pack of metallic. Let me get all of them. They had like 5 pack of metallic for $10. The regular price is much more than that. They were like 70% or something like that off. So they're so beautiful. So the metallics are a little thinner than the regular thread. So it's like, I think they're 40 weight, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's good for adding it as a filament with just stitching it like a filament, like pairing it with regular thread to get more demure effect, or you can double it up and just stitch with it, go with it. I'm really tempted in stitching like my next release in one of these. I know it's a risk. I know I might hate myself halfway through because it's metallic, even like it's thin. Even though it's like actual thread, it looks like it's not those like metallic flimsy things that fall apart, but still it's metallic, so it's not like, it doesn't behave like a regular thread. I'm pretty tempted on just getting those, to use one of these. We'll see, we'll see. And then I bought 2 10 pack of threads. I mixed them up, so I don't know which came from which pack, but they had a pack of 5 solid, 5 blendable, which is their variegated one, and they had a pack of just blendables. I was worried that I might get like duplicate or undesirable like shades and colors, but that's not what happened. Like I don't have any duplicate. And in terms of what I have in a stash, I only have like, I think 2 or 3 duplicates, and there are colors that I actually will love to stitch in. So I'm gonna tell you which ones I have duplicate of. Okay. So that's one that I actually have a duplicate of. I'm planning on stitching a large project in this on a mustard yellow fab Ada. So and if you like the number, it's 1307. I got 1226, 4056. This is one of the blendables. 4051. I have a duplicate of this. I actually stitched one of my designs. I think Prickly Ram, if I'm not mistaken, is a stitch in this. I have 4018, 4101, 4038. That's another duplicate. My Perky Lion, I think, is in this. Yeah. 4068, 1292, 4058, 4091, 4082. I love this. 4042. No, 4024. 4004. 1209. 1096. 4109. 4070. 4026. And lastly, 4089. Yep. So yeah, each of those 10 packs were $10. So it's like $1 each. These are $6.98 or something like that, regular price. So it was like a huge deal, fantastic deal. The smaller one, the 50-yard ones, are $1.98 regular price. So this actually turned out to be like cheaper than a small spools of Sulky. So keep an eye out. They do time to time, they do have like these like amazing sales like this. I suspect there will be another one around holiday time as well. So next, I made a purchase on Amazon for these cable tie ones. I had another version when I just started and I didn't know which one I should pick. The magnet is not as strong, and also the tie itself is too short, so it's like practically useless. I can only use it on really small projects, but there's no need for a lot of tension. But this is something else. I already started using some. It came I think 12, there were 12 in a pack, and the magnet is super strong on these. And this is Rich and Ray from Amazon. It's really good. So yeah, purchase that. And then remember I talked about like fabric and all of that? So I actually made a purchase with 123 Stitch. I finished designing a new pattern, and I was planning on model stitching it before I actually release it, but the pattern is of this time, and I do need to, and I feel I'm compelled to release it earlier. And I actually made a poll on Instagram, and a lot of people agreed that I should just release it, even though I don't have the model stitched, and I can only use the mock-up basically. So I'm gonna still stitch it. So that's the one that I'm tempted to stitch in that metallic, and I needed some really dark blue fabric to stitch on. So I of of course I went to 123 Stitch looking for those dark blues, and I ended up with more than that. I ended up buying more, of course. So let me show you the blues first, and then we go to others. So the first one is from Fiber on a Whim, and these are all 18 count data. This one is Night Sky. So this is a contender for that project. I'll see. I have to floss toss it and also to think about it, how bright I want it to be, because this is like a little has a lot of gray in it. So it's like night sky but overcast, maybe something like that. And then the rest of them are all Picture This Plus. So next one that is again another choice for the project is this one. It's in, what's the name of it? Mystic. Okay. This is another one. This is brighter. You see? It's a brighter color. So I'm between this and the other one. I'll see which one I choose. Okay. Then I got one of my favorites, which is Jade. I'm stitching that kitty on it now. It's another fat quarter. And I bought, this one is Da Vinci. So he has like a yellow and an orange, and then the rest is purple. I like the color a lot. Then another favorite of mine, Barnwood, which is this brown. By the way, all these fabrics are actually, for a minute you could see it more true life. It washes out, for some reason these light is like washes out my fabrics. So yeah. And lastly, they didn't have any fat quarter available, so I bought the small piece just to see how it looks. And I love it, and I definitely buy the big chunk of it, like a big piece of it when it's available. Is it Herald? I think its name is called Herald. So I got the 16th yard, like a small piece. Yeah. So these are all of the fabrics I bought from 123 Stitch. Lastly, I rarely participate in any giveaways. I rarely actually enter in any of the giveaways that are offered by different Flosstubers, but this one was too good to pass up. So, and I thought, oh, there was no way I get picked, because I usually don't. But guess what? I won it. So this was by Becca from Sambury Stitches, and she had a pack of Fat Quarter Shop's sunflower stitch along, like the whole pack, including pattern, fabric, and everything else, all the accessories. So I bought it for a lot of the items that came with it. Plus, I was curious to see the actual pattern as well. So this was, I never stitched with MPI silk, so that came in it. That's all you need to stitch the whole project. It came with 14 count Ada, which I don't use 14 count, so I'm going to swap this with higher count, maybe 18 or 20. It's like a neutral color, so it's easy to replace. It came with a needle minder, sunflower, so cute, and such a big magnet on the back. It came with floss drops or bobbins, depends on how you use them, right? It's a good pack. Like, see how many is in it? 20, 25, something like that. So, yep. And this is another thing that I wanted to try always, the line keepers. I don't like to mark on the patterns. I always make working copy because I love working on paper patterns, but I don't like to mark them. So I usually use highlighter, but I always am worried that someday there will be some accident, or either I'm gonna destroy the fabric or my threads. So these are good alternatives. So the line keepers, to basically mark where you are in the pattern. And it also came with this mesh project bag. And it has like a, it's not a, so it stands. Right, cute. So thank you, Becca. This was a fantastic surprise. All right, so that's it. All my hauls, investment, acquisition, whatever you want to call them. Before I wrap it up, there are a couple of, like, I decided to add at the end of each episode to introduce you to like a few Flosstube. So first one is Marika, if I pronounce her name correctly. She is Little Miss Craft-A-Lot. She lives in Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. She's in Europe. She has a lot of, like, she works on a lot of different like cutesy patterns. She has a lot of finishes. Each episode she talks about different tools and other interesting things that are related to organization and, you know, crafting in general. And I really enjoy her channel, and I'm really surprised that she only has like, I think 200 something subscribers. So yeah, definitely I will definitely link, by the way, everyone down below, so you can just follow them there. Neat and Knot by the Sea, Catherine and Victoria. They're absolutely amazing people. They get together either in Catherine's house or Victoria's house, and they talk about their crafting journey. It's a lot of talk about sustainability and being responsible when it comes to fabrics and threads and like all the tools and all of that. They reuse a lot of things. They try to especially Catherine tries to, you know, upcycle a lot of material. So she buys a lot of stuff secondhand and re-dye them, or she has a lot of these little projects that she works on, and I'm fascinated by it. She does a lot of like scrap quilting that I love what she does, because that's exactly kind of quilting that I grew up with. Like that's the kind of quilting my grandma did. So transforming old shirts and all of that into, or sheets into, quilts. She also reuses a lot of yarns from old projects, or she buys you know, a jumper secondhand or something like that, and then uses the yarn. She dyes, natural dyes a lot of things herself, a lot of, you know, fabrics and yarns and all of that herself. And she's not a follower of rules when it comes to stitching either. So she changes things around. She uses loud colors that a lot of people will, you know, look down on. And I love that. I just love what they do. And Victoria as well, she does a lot of, like, she's been taking a lot of those little courses here and there and learning more about specialty stitches and different kind of crafts. And I'm interested in, and also just listening to them talk and chat, it's just a fantastic Flosstube. But if you don't know them, which I'll be surprised if you don't know them, follow them. They're fantastic. Lastly, Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. Denise, she works on a lot of different projects. She just moved, so she had like a little bit of like a hiccup in between like different Flosstubes. But if you go back and watch her projects, they're really like diverse in terms of they're tiny. She works on tiny cute ones, and then she works on larger projects. She has fancy ladies, so it's like a whole range of different types of patterns that she stitches on. So I enjoy all of that really much. And the term investment for haul actually comes from her. So Denise uses that, and she said that what this is like, I'm investing in my mental health. I'm investing in a hobby that I enjoy. So it's investment. It's not haul. So yeah, I'm borrowing that term from her. All right, that's it. So what else is coming from me soon? I have the pattern finished and done, and I already made the decision to release it soon. So that will be probably released in a week or so. And yeah. So look forward. I personally look forward to that, and hope you guys are excited too. There are more to come. I shared last time that I had a sampler that I was wrestling with, and it didn't come along the way I wanted to. During the process of stitching and just designing this most recent design, I had like a moment of realization. Is turning into a different style of samplers. I was inspired by Becca from Sambury Stitches, who came for Rosh Hashanah. She released the original design of Hebrew alphabet. The style is like a classic style of samplers. When you see what samplers you know used to be like classic samplers, but she came up with that now recently, and because diversity matters for sure. I actually had a comment. Someone actually asked if I will come up with the alphabet sampler. So this is not a alphabet sampler per se. It's not going to turn into just alphabet sampler, but it will include Persian alphabet, Farsi alphabet in it, and it will look a little more, not completely, but a bit more classic looking in terms of what a sampler is, or people are used to seeing what the sampler is. And but has a twist, of course, because it's Iranian. It comes from my culture, and it patterns and includes a lot of like motifs that are again inspired by Iranian fabric art and rug making and all of that. So yeah, so I will be working on that next. The Weird and Wonderful series still is coming, but I pushed it back to next year, so I'm not going to release anything from that, even though I have the first one done. I'm not going to release any part of it this year. So this year I have this the one that I'm releasing next week, hopefully, and then one that I'm going to be releasing at the tail end of December, for basically my birthday, which is on January 4th. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully you too, and hopefully you enjoy my work, and hopefully you like them and purchase them. And by the way, these coming two will not have option for download for free. If you definitely are unable to purchase, you can talk to me and message me, and we can work something out. But because they will be much bigger, and it took more out of me in terms of like design power and all of that to design, I'm not gonna have them offered for free. There will not be like ridiculous price either, so it will be doable, and hopefully you'll be able to afford it. If not, just let me know and we can talk it and figure out something. All right, okay, that's it. I hope that you enjoy your stitchy time. You have a happy spooky season. If you celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween to you. If you enjoy fall, happy fall. I'm tired. I was tired of hot weather in summer, so this is my season. I love fall. I live for fall, so I'm happy it's here. So I'm happy. I hope you are happy, and enjoy your stitchy time. Take care of yourself, be kind to yourself and others, and have a nice day. Bye.